Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at a very exciting, though very awkward, new card. It's just coming out in the Pokemon trading card game in Sun and Moon 7, Celestial Storm. It is, well, we don't know exactly what it's called. I'm calling it Desperation Potion. You see, it literally translates as just-in-time potion. That's what it literally translates as. David Hochmann, our resident translator, lovely man. He, of course, provided a translation for this. He sent me a little image saying, Ross, I've translated it, and it literally translates as just-in-time potion. What do you think? And I said, honestly, I'd call it Desperation Potion. You could also call it Emergency Potion, or Crisis Potion, or Disaster Potion, or I've got a Boo-Boo Potion. Probably not the last one. So we don't know exactly what it's called. I'm calling it Desperation Potion. I think that's the best name for it, given what we know. But as with all of these, we will have to wait for the name to come out in English before we know for certain. And what it does, it is an item card with weirdly Dunsparce on the bottle. And it says, heal 120 damage from one of your Pokemon that has 30 or fewer remaining HP. It is a quadruple potion. It is a double super potion, which, of course, super potion, you needed to discard an energy to use it. It is 1.33 recurring percent of a gold potion, and let's face it, gold potion was so good, it was an ace spec. Healing 120 is absolutely great. But just like we saw with Hustlebout there the other day, Hustlebout does an extra 60 damage. Sounds too good to be true. There must be a catch. Of course there is. Hustlebout can only be used if you've got damage counters on and you've got 30 or less HP. Well, there is a catch with this, and it's a weirdly similar catch. You've got to have 30 or less HP remaining. And weirdly enough, Medicham also, this is the Medicham from Sun and Moon 7, also has an attack that does 10 damage, but it does 170 if you've got 30 or less HP remaining. So that's 3 cards in one set. It's going to be Celestial Storm when it comes out over here. 3 cards in one set that have an extra effect if you've got 30 or less HP remaining. That's utterly ridiculous. Why did that happen? So, of course, the first thing to note here, and this is going to be a fairly obvious comment, but I'm going for it anyway. Healing 120 is great. It just is. Here's the other thing, though. It might not always be enough. So let's say, for argument's sake, you've got a Tapu Lele, for instance, and your opponent knocks you down to 30 HP remaining. Well, you drop a Desperation Potion. You then go from 30 up to 150. Well, you've not completely healed. You haven't got as much as a max potion, for instance. And then you're sitting in range of so much more stuff. Drampa's Berserk attack. Tapu Bulu's Tapu Wilderness attack. So, healing 120 is not always going to be that great. Now, on non-GXs, yeah, I'm all in favour. But you're going to fall short a lot of the time. So let's say, for argument's sake, you had an Empoleon, and that Empoleon had 30 damage remaining. Sounds quite good. But even then, you'd only heal up to 150, not 160. And who's putting you down? Who's doing 140 to an Empoleon? Because if we look at popular Pokemon like Zoroark, for instance, Zoroark could do 120, you'll be down to 40 remaining. Oh, Desperation Potion won't actually kick in here. So, first of all, we got to deal with the fact that a lot of the time, 120 is not going to bring you back up to full HP. It's going to bring you fairly close, but I've talked about this a lot. If you look at like a Tapu Bulu with 180 HP and a Buzzwole with 190, it is way better having 190 HP than 180. Tapu Bulu hits 180. Gardevoir hits in multiples of 30, etc, etc, so that extra 10 HP can sometimes be absolutely crucial. So then we go back to Desperation Potion and we go, well, it's really unlikely to be fully healing you here. You're probably going to be left on not quite full HP, and that's going to bring you closer to being KO'd. which really kind of sucks. And then, of course, the other big issue with this card, and it's just like we said with Hustlebout the other day, your opponent, if they know you play Desperation Potion, they are just going to manipulate the game, so they either get a one-hit KO, or a KO, or they leave you on 40 or more HP. They are going to play the game very deliberately to make sure that they never leave you with 30 or less HP, so you never get access to Desperation Potion. And when you combine the fact that your opponent is going to try and make sure you can't use this, and the fact that even when you can use it, you're probably going to end up not being able to heal up completely, so you're still going to be vulnerable, I don't know how much I actually like this. Yeah, Max Potion, you have to discard all the energy attached to you, although for something like Tapu Bulu or Ultra Necrozma that discards most of the energy anyway, maybe that's not the worst thing ever, though Ultra Necrozma will need to get its metal energy back and that can be annoying. But honestly, I look at something like Max Potion and I go, I can use it if I want to, not use it if I don't. I'm in charge of when I use it, and I know I can put me out of range of my opponent. And then I look at Desperation Potion and I go, well, really, it's in my opponent's control if I can use it, and half the time it's not going to get me back there anyway. What I do need to mention here is, of course, Focus Sash. Now we're in the expanded format only here, of course, but when you got a Focus Sash attached, if you would be one-hit KO'd as a fighting Pokemon, Focus Sash falls away and you go to 10 HP remaining. In comes Desperation Potion. Of course, also in comes Hustlebout, so you've got to decide which one you'd rather have. But let's take a look at my boy Donphan from the Plasma sets, bit of the old Plasma Storm Donphan, which is a great little hit-and-run Pokemon. And actually, for Donphan, Desperation Potion will work perfectly. You've got 130 HP, you pop a Focus Sash on there. Your opponent goes to one-hit KO, you go down to 10 HP remaining, Focus Sash falls off. Now, at that point, you could add a Hustlebout to do an extra 60 damage. Or you could play a Desperation Potion. Now healing 120 would put you right back up to 130 full HP, and then of course you could put a new Focus Sash on, because you'd then be at full HP, and you could cycle this a little bit. But if I'm having to look in the expanded format at a really specific combo with one particular deck, which is really a fringe kind of rogue deck and expanded, with a particular tool card, and bearing in mind your opponent could always Field Blower to get rid of it, and that's how I'm saying we can get Desperation Potion working, you can see where my reservations are here. Then, of course, you've got all kinds of Pokemon, like the Reshiram and Zekrom from Shining Legends, which actually want a bunch of damage on them, or in fact the new Donphan from Champion Road, which would be another really good candidate for Focus Sash, because it does 10 damage for each damage counter on you. So you use Focus Sash, you would be KO'd, Focus Sash falls off, you're now hitting 120 for one fighting energy. So you could use Desperation Potion to heal completely, or you could add a Hustlebout and be hitting for 180 damage for a single energy. And I know which one I'm going to do. I think that Desperation Potion is super awkward to use, just like Hustlebout is. But Hustlebout is going to mean that you can do an extra 60 damage and get some key KOs you wouldn't get anyway, whereas Desperation Potion is going to allow you to heal some damage, but probably not enough anyway. So to be perfectly honest with you, I'm giving this 2 Wassies. I have really sat down and had a good look at this card. And I have really had a think about all the ways it can be used. And you know from watching my videos by now, I run through ridiculous scenarios in my head, really looking for how useful this card can be. And look, if you are playing the Plasma Storm Donphan in Expanded with Focus Sash, yes. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That is about it. And I'm sorry, I really want to like this card, but I just can't. And also, right, putting Dunsparce on the ball. Who even likes Dunsparce? Probably a lot of you. Pop it down in the comments if you're a Dunsparce fan, and of course let me know if you can find a really good use for this item or if you like it more than I do. Go nuts! Be nice! Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio where you can do just that. And do check out my video about Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I do want to become a channel that can do videos like that, so please do check it out. Tell your friends, I would be delighted. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.